Hey, welcome back everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we will cover pH level. I know that a lot of you have purchased a machine that I got questions from. Did I pay this machine for nothing? Does it really help me? What is it about? Some don't have any pre-filter in front of that machine, but have a machine that will change the pH and create more alkaline water. Hey, let's take a look into it, and at the end, let's have a conclusion. See, if it's really worth it. So, without any undue delay, pH levels. Do they really help our body? It looks like more our body's acid. Like people say, things we eat, things we drink make our body acid, which will proliferate the growth of cancer cells. So what we want to do is companies, manufacturers tend to make you understand and make you believe that if our pH is high in our body, well, it'll unbalance this and will starve the cancer. Let's take a look at it. Take a good look at this. Okay, I'll write this down because I'll revise something. Take a look at the lemon. On the pH level, some people, sometimes, sodas, sodas have a pH level of 3. A lot of people I know, I say, it's great for your body. I'm going to take a lemon, squeeze a lemon into my water, and I'm going to drink that every morning. We take a look at that on the pH scale, it's 3. Normal, this one blew me away. Normal acid in their body, 2. Equal to your car battery acid outside. Incredible. So my stomach acid's pH level is the same thing as my car battery acid. Interesting. Those of you who take orange juice every morning, I haven't touched orange juice in I think in 20 years. For many reasons, not just because of pH. But that's another video for another time. Well, level 4, orange juice. Let's write that down, orange juice. pH level 4. And normal pH from your water tap, 7. Water. That's your normal pH that you should be drinking. Now, let's take a look at high pH. Eggs. Baking soda for 9. Phosphate detergents range for pH scale. Interesting. And when you got an upset stomach, borax or antacids, Tums, those kind of products. But let's stop at 9 because I've seen some water bottles out there which the pH is supposed to be at 9. So pH at 9, baking soda. Okay, got those down. I'm going to come back to them. That's why I want you to remember those. So yeah, there was bottles out there which you've seen these tests on YouTube, which they're putting in a few drops and you're seeing like the water bottles acid or the water bottles alkaline, and which ones are the best and which ones you should drink because this is too low or too acid. It's good, not good for you. Okay, let's take a look at that. The best pH water to drink ranges from 6.5 to 8. That's good, but it should be an average of 7, and that's what comes out of tap water municipality. Why? Because magnesium, calcium, that's in it. Basically, simple as that. Do you know what the logarithmic scale is? That one I wasn't aware till I did the research on this. If I take a pH level from 4 to 5, we're talking orange juice going to a level pH of 5. There is a 10 times the difference in pH within 4 to 5. It's not 1. not like going from level 1 pH to level 5. It's 10 times the level. And even more, the pH from 7 to 8 is 100 times different. And it keeps going up like this. So that's quite interesting to know that, if I drink or I take something that's at level 8, it's 100 times higher than level 7 of the normal water. Just thought I'd throw that at you, just as something to think about. Don't worry about it. It's not complicated. Just take a look at the green, okay? If we take a look at the green part, that's just a filter. They call it antibacterial biotreatment. Just a simple filter, just to filter out your water, okay? Because it has to be kind of clean before you start using the electrolytic cells on them. So if we take a look at the yellow part, you see minus plus, minus plus. So basically those are metal plates with electricity. Yeah, they use the beautiful word platinum coated titanium electrowads. It's just metal plates, okay, inside with electricity, platinum, so they don't rust as much. But one positive, which is at least this part is good, it's in the water, and the negative, it looks like it's out of the water, so it doesn't create that byproduct or bad effect of chloride into your water, which we talked about in video 2, which is really bad for us. So basically what these guys are doing, same thing as I was talking before, creating hydrogen in water, more hydrogen in your water. Creating hydrogen water in your water makes it more alkaline, creating more positive or higher pH. That's all it is. So water ionizers require some impurities in your water to be able to process properly. So your antibacterial treatment is just minimum, to be able to do this with your ionizers. So kind of expensive, people. And I know some people are not going to like me for it, but hey, this is the math, this is the science. Basically, 2 rods, just separating the hydrogen, creating more alkaline water, more pH in your water that you're drinking. If we go back, am I able to go back? Yeah, okay. If we're able to go back, we could see that there's a byproduct on this which will create acid ionized water. Some people say, hey, you could use this. My goodness. Sorry for this. I should have closed my phone. This is what happens when you're doing something live. There you go. Maybe somebody not liking what I'm doing right now about his system because he paid so much for it. But I'm just using the science, people. I'm just putting the facts here that I did the research on. Yes, it's green, a byproduct, which is more acid, ionized water. And some people are saying that they're using this to clean their fruits, their veggies, or using it as a cleaning product. You know what? Everybody that I talked with, or what I see, is like more than 95% just throw the water away and use the more alkaline water. More alkaline water, if it's really high, possible effects and risk on high levels and alkaline water on our body may create nausea, vomiting, hand tremors, muscle twitch, tingling, extremities or face, confusion. Some say, wait, I never had this and I drink it. Yeah, maybe your alkaline water and what are you drinking? What are the amounts that you're drinking? And how high is it? All of these factors come into to form that when the possible effects of drinking too much alkaline. Our body's going to work overtime to reduce that. So what are ionizers? These expensive ionizers. Yeah, they do a poor job of filtering. What are the shortcomings? Basically, these things are electrolyzers. The same thing as those water bottles that you buy that are cheap at the store, which have 2 plates in it, and which will, create hydrogen, which will create hydrogen water with it. There are some expensive, better, and I explained that in video 2. PEM systems, which will isolate one of the plates so you don't get that byproduct of chloride in your water. Recently, these firms creating these water ionizers claim that by producing pure alkaline water can prevent disease. What I've talked about a minute ago. Such claims in the scientific world, there's no evidence. Since light of known laws of chemistries and physics, if you put all that together, you'll know that in a minute because I'll go through that. I'll make it as simple as for you guys to understand, and I got some pictures I found that are really great to explain that. So several disadvantages to purchasing water ionizers. First, is alkaline, very alkaline water worth all this hype? Which called, acid ash. Well, let's review that. Let's take a look. It's much more complicated than just one pH level. If you're taking a look and you're saying, I'm drinking alkaline water of a level of pH of 8 or 9 or, a little bit higher. What happens? It's like, are we really lowering our pH in our body? Well, you know what? There was a tests that were done on this, and there's not only one pH in our body. There's several pH, and just like the three factors that I could take out is the blood. The blood has a very, very narrow pH. I think it's 7.2 to 7.4. I think I wrote it later in my presentation. If you're taking level 9 and you're drinking it, your body's got to work overtime to bring that pH down. Your muscles are at 6.1. Your brain works at 7.2, very narrow margin there too on your pH. So again, you're drinking 9. Your body's got to work overtime to balance that pH. Not easy to change those numbers. A volunteer study done in 2001, I was able to find a few days on, a high pH water and one on the low pH, just to see the difference, acid or high alkaline water. Their blood pH had changed by 0.014 units after a few days. Now, 0.014 to measure the pH right now, I don't know of any medical machine good enough to calculate this variance. But, if it comes from the error of the machine or that's the change, that is not even worth talking about. We're not even talking one level of pH that was changed. If you're drinking 9, your blood is 7.4, do the math. So is it worth all the hype? Your blood, 7.4 average, ranges from 7.34 to 7.45. So it's even more narrow than I was talking about of 7.2. If you're at 6, you're in a coma, basically. How about your stomach range? The acid in there varies from 1 to 3. We have all kind of systems in place in our body, liver, kidneys. Even when you go, you breathe out your carbon dioxide, that expels the brings down the pH level or balances the pH. So all these factors inside our bodies are there to balance out the pH that we normally have in our body. That you're drinking too acid or you're drinking very high alkaline, it will all balance it back out. Are you helping your organs to work less? Or are you really changing the pH in our body, really? Changing the pH? I don't think so. Proofs are there by the studies. Are your organs going to work a little bit less harder? Maybe if you're high pH, but do you really want to unbalance, your pH in your body, or your organs at the other end just work harder to bring down the pH again? Let's take a look at this. And this image says it all. You're drinking water with a pH of 9. Falls into your stomach acid of 1 to 3. You know, battery acid? Normal stomach acid, 2. Falls into your stomach, and you got quite a bit of acid in your stomach that flows in there all the time. What does it do? Comes, balances it out, everything, and then it says, okay, I'm done with here. There's nothing here to digest, but by that time, your water's probably at 5. Takes that, shoots it into your gut. Whoa, careful. Acid battery in your gut. Won't that burn it? Won't that burn all those beautiful bacteria that you have in there working, or even burn your small intestine? Absolutely not. That's where the gallbladder turns in. It balances out 7.5 to 8.05. It shoots out what you need to balance out from what comes out of the stomach so it doesn't burn your intestine. And what it doesn't supply, your pancreas will go even higher from 8 to 8.3 in pH and will balance out the rest. So when it comes out and goes into your intestine, it goes into a normal pH. So everything is balanced out and it doesn't burn and it gets absorbed through your intestines. Basically, pancreas, if you take a look at what I circled, is bicarbonate. So it's great. It's amazing how much our body is like, it's so complicated, but at the same time, it works so in harmony to balance out everything. So yeah, you come to use high alkaline water to do what exactly at the end when your body's just working overtime to rebalance out everything else. If you want to go for alkaline water, just get the best sodium bicarbonate baking soda that you use your cooking with. Take a pinch and put it in your water, and raise your pH level by there, and that's it. You won't have to spend $4,000 to $5,000 for a machine. You'll see in part 5, or now it's part 6 because it's a little bit further in my videos, as I use calcium and magnesium, a simple supplement, to raise the pH level in my water. Simple as that. That's what tap water does. So short, but I needed to cover and make it apart from the other video that I did on the water bottles, not to make it too long. Hope this was informative, people. Again, you know the routine. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, and share if you found this information useful. And again, stick around for part 6 coming up soon. Have a good day, everyone.